Crazy about my money. Crazy about my money.
Hello, what's up and welcome back to my channel where we talk about money. Your money, our money, money. So today, what are we going to talk about? We are going to talk about that bad four-letter word that we don't like. We don't like to see it in our bank account. We don't like to see it in our history. We don't like to think about it. It brings just stress. You won't have to talk about it. That four-letter word. Debt. DEBT. So we're going to talk about how to stay out of debt in 2025 and beyond. Just for life. So I'm going to give you 3 tips that can help you to stay out of debt. And if you are in debt, it'll help you to get out of debt and have a debt-free life. Because you want to have peace of mind. So the first tip to stay out of debt. So it's important to stay out of debt because your income is your biggest financial tool for your life. So in building our net worth, we need to have our income not paying for things that has already happened. So if you buy a car and you're paying for it into the next 3, 4, 5 years, like the car expense was done this year and now you're still paying for it. So we don't want to be paying, we don't want to be taxing our future selves with things that are happening now. That is going to restrict us in building our net worth. So let's go back to the 3 tips. So the first tip is you need to know your why. You need to have a strong why. And this why has to be yours, not your friends, not your neighbors, not your childhood friends, not your girls, not your boyfriends, not your girlfriend. It has to be yours. Because this is what's going to motivate you on those hard days where you see something and you just want to make that purchase. You are at the till, you're in a shop and you know that you can't really buy this extra thing. It could be an extra €5, but you know this is gonna affect other things for the month. You just have to go and put that thing back on the shelf and walk out of that shelf. So you need that strong why. So something that resonates with you maybe is to do with you just don't want to feel the stress of having to make that payment every month. You don't like the stress it's bringing to your relationships, or maybe you want more spontaneity in life. You just want more room in your budget so that you can have more fun, because if that money going towards your car loan and your personal loan was in your bank account, you might be able to take more trips and have more memories, have less stress in your life and create more memories with people you care about. Or you might want to stay home with your kids because you feel like, oh, you've been working so hard since they were born and now they're almost in their teens and you haven't really gotten time with them. It just has to be something that makes you excited and it's meaningful to you. That's what your why should be. So this can get you through the hard days. And now the second way to stay out of debt is you need to be able to not rationalize nonsense. We all do it. I'm gonna give you examples because have you ever had a friend tell you, like I've had really smart friends tell me that, oh my god, love it, like cars under 15,000, not 15 euros, can't buy a car, 15,000 euros don't work, they're gonna break down, so I need to buy this car, I need to get a loan, so I have 15,000, but I'm gonna use it and put maybe 5k towards the deposit to get a car that's 30k or 35k because a car is under 15k don't work. And I'm looking at this, you went to college and you got your degree and you are working, you're a professional. Why are we having this discussion? I don't respond to this kind of situations, but I just know that we all know that cars, as long as the car has a national car testing, has been tested, and has its NCT in Ireland, in the UK, wherever there's a testing service. Like, you cars under 15k still work. What I'm trying to explain is that some people rationalize things that they know that this really doesn't make sense, but they're trying to justify the purchase, or saying that clothes under 40 euros, or I need to shop in this specific shop for me to get things that are good quality. It could be for their kids. People do this a lot with kids. Or I can't find things that are of good value except if I go into this expensive shop. They like to call the brand name. Or I get all my kids' stuff in Next. Or Next is not the highest brand. Or I get all my kids' stuff in this store. So that it's just for bragging rights. It's just for the person that's talking to look at them like, wow, your kids' stuff are expensive. Guess what happens to all kids' clothes? Vomit, spit, food still goes on. They have to be washed many times. So this is such a fun, a passionate topic. This point, this rationalizing, because if we stop rationalizing things that don't make sense, you would save so much money and you wouldn't spend so much money. A lot of this rationalizing comes from trying to impress other people. A lot of it comes from just doing things that you know better. You just know better. So stop rationalizing, not bringing your food to work. I don't care if you just make a quick sandwich in the morning. It is cheaper to eat your food prepared by yourself, homemade food, than buying 15 euro sandwiches or 10 euro sandwiches at work. What are you, like, crazy? How much are you making per hour? You're spending nearly one hour making the money that you are eating for lunch every day. That doesn't make sense. It costs less than 10 euros to make about 10 sandwiches. You buy a loaf of bread, it's 2 euros. And then you can buy chicken, that's another 4 euros. So make it make sense that you're paying for your lunch every single day at work. You're spending 10 euros, 15 euros for a sandwich, one sandwich. It only costs less than 10 euros to make like 10 sandwiches that you could eat for nearly a week. You could make a sandwich every morning. It costs maybe 3 euros to buy chicken, or maybe 6 euros. Yeah, depends on where you shop. And then you can buy bread for 2 euros, but you go and because you want to be disorganized, you don't want to put in the effort. Like, I'm not being harsh. I'm just, sometimes I've done this in the past. I've had periods of time where, I'll just go and pick something up. I'll just get, and the amount of money that you spend, frivolous spending in that way, you could, if you just are disciplined. Which brings me to the next point, which is you have to make it a part of your lifestyle to spend within your limits, so that way you can stay out of debt. So you have to build it into your routine. So when we're talking about this lunch experience, you can meal prep. Make it a habit. Every time that you're off, one of your routines is to go to the shop, to your local shop, buy your ingredients, and then cook. It takes you maybe 2 hours, and you make something. There is YouTube. Everyone can learn something. If you didn't learn to cook when you were younger, well, we're in the digital world. There's a lot of things. You didn't learn to drive when you were younger either. You weren't driving at 7, so you weren't working in your job at 7. You weren't doing all the things. You weren't changing a baby at 7. You weren't, if you have kids. So a lot of things you're doing now, you weren't pressing your phone, your iPhone on YouTube. You weren't on YouTube at 7. So you don't use the excuse, I don't know how to cook. Go and watch a video and learn, follow the exact recipe that person used, and learn 1 or 2, 3 meals and cook them on a weekend and have them for the week. It saves, these little tips makes a huge difference in your budget because you see over the month how much you're saving and how much you can keep. And we are going to, so first thing, we're going to have a strong why as to why we're doing what we're doing, and we're going to make it ours and make it resonate. And number two, we're not going to be rationalizing buying a new phone every single time iPhone updates their iOS. Now you need to upgrade your phone, even though there's nothing wrong with your phone. What's going on with you? So Mr. Apple is telling you when you need a new phone. He's making decisions in your life. So anytime he decides to bring in, you have a new iPhone, yet, and your bank account, is just dwindling. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. If your car is working perfectly fine, you don't need to upgrade it because you've paid off the car loan of the one you just had. What is wrong? Please, don't do this to yourself. People pay off their car loans and then get back into another car loan because their car is now 4 years old. They can't drive on the streets again. It can't get you from A to B because it's now 4 years old. Please, don't rationalize these things that you have more sense than this. You know that this doesn't make sense. So please, the third point then is just to make simple habit changes that will include this into your lifestyle so that it can become your routine. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some tips on how to stay out of debt. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.
Crazy about my money.